So last time we worked on the background. If you still have some paint, we'll get the paint taken care of. And then we're gonna start our little red hen. And this kind of gives you some visuals on what you can use to add the different aspects to make it look like the hen. And then I'll have lots of colored paper. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna draw this body together as a class on a big red sheet of paper. And I would use pencil, but for the sake of seeing really well, I'm gonna use this black. So we're gonna draw the hen's body, and we're gonna try to use up as much of this paper as we can. So I'm gonna start with the tail, and then I'm gonna go up a little bit, almost to the top, touching the top, down. This would be like the head, then this would be like the underbody, and then we're gonna go back up to the tail again. So it's this kind of big sweeping shape, okay? Then I'm gonna cut it out. So I like to start on the tail. I always make sure I'm pointing the scissors away from myself, keeping my fingers out of the way. And if it gets too big, you could always just cut off a piece like that. It makes it easier for you so you don't have areas that are kind of dangling. Okay, and then these two we'll take to the recycling. So I have my hen. At this point, it'd be a good time to write your name. I'll write with pencil, but I can write here, Mrs. K, and 1 dash in your code, because we'll set this aside to dry if you don't get it glued to your background, okay? Now we're going to add, I'm gonna add the comb that's at like the top of the head. So I'm gonna get a piece of paper. I'm gonna use this one. I would personally, if I were you, start with a pencil first so that you can see and like your lines. But if you feel comfortable going to the China marker, that's fine. You don't even have to use China marker if you don't want to. And then I'm gonna cut it out. Yours will be in smaller little pieces so they're easier to manage versus this long one. Now this is kind of a small, well, I think this will be fine for mine. We'll see real fast when we set it down. Oops, cut that. Oh, I didn't mean to. Move that off to the side. Okay, so we've got our little hen here. So this is gonna go right up there. Yeah, it's fine. I might make it, it's fine though. And then I'll do the same thing for the wing, which I've already pre-done. Here's my wing. And then the same thing for the tail feather, and that's gonna go right back there. So I've got the basic parts, and then I'm gonna do the eyes and the nose. But before I do that, I'm actually gonna glue. So I am gonna glue this piece down first. So remember, you don't need a lot of glue. A little bit of glue works. I just need a little bit. See, that's almost too much. Scrape off some of that glue and put that right back here where I want it. Same one, I'm not even re-dipping it. And I put this tail feathers in the back. And then this one, I might have to get a little more glue for that one. And then I'll put the glue there. So you don't need a ton of glue. You should be able to pretty much see through it. And that's usually what I want to shoot for. So I'm gonna have mine kind of going off the front here. So I put a little too much glue on it because I was thinking I was gonna have it further back. So that's easy fix. I can just kind of wipe it and it's fine. Okay, so I've got the basic, the comb in the head, I've got the tail feather, I've got the wing, and now I'm gonna set him aside and I'm gonna do the eyes and the beak. So I'll have these two here. So for the eye, I'm gonna draw kind of a circle oval shape. You can check, do I want it to be that dramatic? Sure, why not? Then I'm gonna add the black part of the eye, color that in. Then I'm gonna cut this piece out. Notice I'm always keeping the scissors pointed away from me and my finger away from the scissors. Then I've got a little bit of glue already on here, so I'm just gonna put that glue on, not a lot. Put wherever I want his or her, I should say her eyes. So right there, then I need the beak. So I'm gonna use this one. They have a really simple beak. So they're gonna start on the edge here. Do an edge there, and then I'm gonna draw a line here and here. Yeah, I like that. I like the dramatic beak. And then we'll cut that out. Cutting all my pieces. If I'm not exactly on my line, that's fine. No, I use black. You can just glue it on or draw it on with pencil. And I can decide to set this in the front or kind of in the back. I'm kind of liking it in the back personally, but there's no wrong way to do it. Okay, so I've got the main parts done. So let's double check. I've got the body, I've got the comb, I've got the wing, I've got the tail feather, got the eye and the beak. Now, once we've put it together, we're going to add these curved lines. But before I do that, I'm gonna set mine on my paper. So I'm gonna decide where I wanna set mine on my paper, okay? So I can have them kind of going up here off the page, kind of in the center. So I'm gonna turn it around. My name's on the back, but I'm gonna glue it down because I have time. So I like to put my name on the back just in case, because if I do run out of time, then I know it's safe. So I want you to notice how much glue I'm putting on. I'm kind of going around the edges, not worried about the glue in the middle. And it doesn't have to be completely covered with glue, okay? Just enough that it's going to stick. Okay, I'm gonna turn it around. Excuse me. Then I'm gonna decide where I like her. Actually, I have a tail feather going up a little higher. Okay, and then I'm gonna hold it down. So I like to hold it down for a good 30 seconds so it completely sticks to it. Sometimes if we don't hold it down enough, it kind of flips up on an edge. So I like to make sure it's stuck really, really well. Okay, so I like the way everything is and I have it glued. So if somebody else is using this, great. If nobody else is, I'm gonna wipe that on the edge there and put the lid back on and return it. And now I'm ready for some details. So I love how they have the little feathers on here, the little eyebrow, the little feet and things like that. So I'm actually gonna start with white this time. So I'm gonna use this white. It's just a China marker, it's just a wax marker. So I'm gonna create these kind of U shapes on mine. Okay, and this is gonna give me some texture. So we can have the feathers on there and it looks interesting. I could have more around the head or not. I could even have them here on the wing. Now I can't see it as well with my light green paper, but you know, that's fine. And then maybe I'm gonna take this black and maybe put a little line right underneath. So I'm kind of repeating that shape, or that line, I should say. And I'm gonna repeat that. Maybe I'm gonna repeat it here. And now you can see them a little bit better. I could decide to have some repeated dot, 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 curve, dot, 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 just to give it some interest. Little curve, dot, dot, curve, dot, dot, curve, dot, dot. Okay, anything that you think would look cool on it. Maybe a little eyebrow if you want to have it on her. And then I'm gonna have her legs. So I'm gonna decide, I kind of like how they did the legs on there. So I'm gonna kind of mimic that and the little leg here that looks like she's kind of running. So it's kind of getting lost for me. So I'm going to make this a little bit wider so that my hen's legs stand out a little bit more. Okay, that's just a personal choice. You can keep it a thinner marking and that would be totally fine. But I like how she turned out for my little red hen. So I have the whole body. I kind of followed this as my guide. I chose different colors for each one. You might want both wings to be the same color. That's your project. And don't forget the beak. Excuse me. It's pretty important. And then I like that end result of adding the little extra feathers and textures with the China markers. I think it looks interesting that way. And then of course, don't forget her little little feet so she can run around and get all that work done. And then we'll put this on the drying rack.